Morning.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of What Can We Break Today? Feel all right. I think it's because it... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I feel good today. I think it's because there's no longer an Evo in my car park.
Ah.
It's currently driving around Swindon.
Yeah. And Mexico.
And Mexico. Mexico! Arriba! Right, this is going to be a giddy one, so let's get through the intro. And we'll tell you why I didn't get the Ferrari technician to do the engine this week. Oi, oi.
How you doing?
How's things?
All good.
How was Pod?
Pod was freezing cold.
Was it?
Yes.
Don't know why you would go there. Rubbish.
I don't know why I went there. And I had the worst eggy bagel I've ever had.
Eggy bagel?
Eggy bagel.
Why would you have an eggy bagel?
I don't know.
I can't even work out what... That's like having, I don't know, a ham cake. Victoria sponge with ham on it.
It wasn't very good because all the yolk oozed out through the middle.
Oh.
Yeah, anyway.
We won't talk about that. Oh, I'm gone now. That's it. Right.
It's a blur again.
It is a blur. Saturday I came in, a couple of cars went, and we spent a couple hours on the dyno finishing Matt's car off. So we've got that tuned really nice now, because where it was coming on boost before, as it would open a screamer pipe, it'd just literally dump all its boost. So we'd get a big dip in the torque. So we've sorted that out. The injectors are probably a little bit too big for it, for the power it's running, so it just depends whether you want to spend money on changing the injectors, because I think they're ID 1050Xs, so they're like way too big, but I don't know. People who spec build cars make it up as they go along, I think. Because you bought it like that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it's all right, we sorted it out. Link ECU, it's got some really nice functions. It's like anything, right? It's like you pick up a new piece of software that's good at something, but you've got to learn the software. So if that was on M1, it would have taken me like half the time, or if it was on Syvecs. But yeah, just learn a new piece of software. But that Link stuff's good. It's good. Plug and play board. We put a Lambda's CAN module on it because it didn't have that. Set up all the closed loop. Switched off closed loop boost, set the base duty table, and then turn closed loop back on, so at least it's well-finished window. And then event home. And what else we do? And that was it then. Football Sunday, Jackie Boy had a game. And then Kate has me decorating.
Oh,
yeah, because I'm a woodworker, right?
Clearly.
Yeah, exactly. I am good at using wood, but my own, not Wicks wood. I don't mean Joe Wicks either.
Oh.
Yeah, Wicks is wood. Yeah, and that was about it. And then like World Superbikes was on, British Superbikes was on, so I had a laugh at that. And then here we are today. So Mitch is on the dyno at the minute, running a car for Chris at VGS. Yeah, so I can take you out in a rainy car park if you want, but we have got rid of some cars. We've got a twin turbo R8 in. We just got a list of things to do, sort out the calibration on that, because the drivability low end is a bit piss poor, so we'll sort that out. A few other bits and pieces, nothing major. Yeah, Carl's finishing off Adam's engine to go back in, so that'll go back in this week. Matt's doing a service for Andy. Mitch is finishing off Jan's GT, which is a really nice one actually. Yeah, so this is, the only thing missing on this one for me is GT bucket. It's got different seats in it, but this is a lovely one, really nice one. He's had this, I've looked after this for years and years. I have got a client selling an immaculate GT in black. So if anyone wants a really nice GT, give me a shout. I think that'll be up at like 85, 90. It's immaculate, low mileage, black, GT buckets. Yeah, it's got everything on it.
They are lovely.
They're, yeah, favourite R8. The problem is if I ever buy one, I can never sell it. I'd never be able to sell it. It's the best R8 ever made. It is the best R8. That's why the new R8 GT is pants. Because it's an RWS with some bits bolted to it. This was a different car. Different car. If you look up the chassis, if you wanted to buy a new chassis, it's a different part number.
Is it?
Yeah, different part number. So it's a 42B, and whereas all the others are 424, 420, it's a 42B. So it's completely different. And then you start going for it then, and you're like, rear lid's different, rear bumper's different, rear wing, rear cover. The rear lid alone, mate, is like 15 grand.
Pardon?
15 grand for that rear lid.
15 grand?
Yeah, it's plexiglass. Yeah, it's plexi. Everything carbon on it is matte, so obviously GT only. So engine bay, covers, side blades, all the interior, rear wing, everything's matte carbon. It had the rear lift, the rear flaps, so only GT, yeah, I mean, you can see it. That's why it's 15 bags. And that was the last time I checked. It's probably different now.
Yeah.
But yeah, best GT ever, best R8 ever made. Jax is just on charge, battery's playing up, but we've done loads on that. New exchange rear arms as well, so we can do, we're now working with a guy called Andy, who's got, who rebuilds the arms in the UK using new ball joints and new bushes, so we carry exchange arms in stock now for the early V8, so we've done that. I spoke to Paul at JDM about this the other day, so I get the first clutch pedal, so that's due any minute.
Excellent.
Any minute. And then he's sending me a load of other bits. Jordan raced yesterday at Evo Championship, so he's racing a 2-stroke in Evo, but I think his rear shock done a Ken Roxon. I think his rear shock went because he said it just beat the living daylights out of him. So he's in later today because it's daddy daycare today. The Ferrari, we're still trying to figure out the ABS problem. So what I need to do really is message Scott Ratarossa and ask his input on it, because whether they do like a vacuum servo conversion, because the ABS, it's like that, it's got like a special pump in it, doesn't have a vacuum servo, so it's just playing up. And what I don't want to do is get into it being the pump module, and that's thousands and thousands and thousands, and you can't get them. So we'll have a look. Matt's been going through it, so we just need to spend a bit more time. The ZX, we have a stack of parts for.
Aha.
Which is going to be this week's video, I think.
A few questions asking when that's coming on next.
It is. So I haven't done anything with it. What we're going to do is, once the cam belt's done, we've done all the fluids, then we just take it from a T. What I don't want to do at the minute is let it get hot, and like we don't know what the cam belt's like or anything like that, so I don't want to take the risk. So I think tomorrow, Wednesday, mate, me and you will do a bit of...
Get busy on it.
300 ZX tuning, isn't it, bro?
Yes.
What else is in? I think that's about it. It's sort of not quieting down, but it's quieting down. No, it's busy, but we get weeks where there's just a load of pressure of stuff going out.
Yeah.
So that like builds the pressure up, and then me racing kind of sometimes adds to that as well. So yeah, we've got a couple of weeks of peace and quiet. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. Have a look at this. ETS turbo kit, right? So we've dropped it off R8, and turbos don't spin.
Oh.
Like, mate. And the other side is worse. Yes, not good.
So seized.
Seized. It hasn't touched the housing. It's just literally not good. So we'll take them up to Lee at Owens, get them rebuilt. Hopefully it's not done major damage. They just feel super tight.
Yeah. And that's the car that's come from...
That's the Greece car.
Greece.
Yeah, so they didn't take the cats out, and the cats have smashed up the exhaust and hit the probes and basically melted themselves into probes.
Oh dear.
So we've got to sort that out, and a few other bits and pieces. Yeah, just the kit is all right. It's just the fit and the install is just a bit poor, really. So
yeah,
we get it sorted. I've got to fix this is the bumper to go on Alan's car. That's the last bit to go on now. I'm just waiting on a connector for parking sensor, which should have turned up this morning, but we'll have a look.
So that's the OMG...
Twin turbo OMG car, yeah. And they did, Vickers won both races at the weekend. Yeah, masterclass as well. Yeah, he was something else. And I think Kyle got a second and a third? Second and third? So yeah, OMG, mate, cleaned up a weekend.
Strong work.
Yeah, I know. And they built my bike as well, and I'm class.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I crash. No, I'm not class, I crash.
You're in good company.
Right, where should we go, dear boy?
It looks like we're going into the Bay of Dreams.
As a little special treat for a Monday, we'll do this. If you go over by the car, mate, I've got something for it.
The excitement's building. What's he got for us?
Oh, Alan's keys.
You see?
I bought It is about the right size as well. I bought a new knob, mate.
Oh.
I know. Look at that.
Is that the
It is
correct?
a genuine, proper thing.
Genuine new old stock.
New old stock knob. You thought this was going to be your Monday, didn't you? Nope, that doesn't fit. Two middle-aged blokes in a 300ZX playing with knobs.
It wouldn't be the first time, dude.
Whee! Like, why 2.5 mil? Why just not 2 mil? Or 3 mil? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's just awkward for the sake of being awkward.
Honestly. Momo. More money, more problems. Right, if anyone wants an absolutely gash Momo knob,
It's there.
give us a shout. Right. How's this going then? Screw it onto all, lad. Davlon, look at it.
Oh, that's so much better. Is it real leather or is it faux?
Bloody hell, you can tell I'm good at giving hand jobs, can't you? Oh.
It's an interesting
That is
technique.
a Lisa Ann technique, that, isn't it, mate?
It's an advanced technique, I would say.
Look at that!
Look at it.
Right. That's an advanced technique. That is a Monday treat. That is going to annoy me that it's still loose, so I might have to put some Loctite on that.
Yeah. But immediately better.
That is so much better. I need this trim now.
Okay.
Because that light is going to annoy me.
Yep.
So if anyone has got this surround trim, holler at your boy. This is from Z Center. This was from Z Center. Hang on, I'll tell you. They were he's brilliant. He was on the phone to me for like an hour talking through stuff. Yeah, Z Center UK.
Cool.
He's a chap that used to run his own workshop looking after these. And now he's kind of just set himself up as a web shop. But the guy's mint. You should see, like he sent me, I've ordered cam belt kit, full service kit. I need a new CD changer. And he sent me like Woodruff keys for free. He sent me all the instructions on how to do the cam belt. He sent me all the instructions on how to put the belt tensioners on and tighten them up. Yeah. The guy was like he was like the ZX version of me. Like he was just chatting. So yeah, it was brilliant. So yeah, bought a load of stuff off him and.
Brilliant. Didn't let you know any sort of scary things about the car?
Everything.
It was all good?
They rust. That was the scary thing.
Yes.
So I really don't know what to do with that. I'm really struggling to know what to do. Because I can see myself falling down a rabbit hole of it being a complete restoration, which I don't want to do. So I'm really struggling to know what to do with the underside of it at the minute.
Yep.
Because if I do all the mechanical stuff and paint it, it'd be worth good money. But being realistic, the kind of money I've been quoted to do the sills properly is like 5-6 grand.
Oof.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do, lad. I really don't.
Well.
So we'll figure that out in time to come. So at the minute, look at that. I like it. Right, are you going to sit there like, or should we pop a targa off so you can
Go
look
on, then.
in? Ugh. You were holding the camera down, so it doesn't really make much difference, does it?
Doesn't make any difference. It's fine. You just like showing off your
I like
top.
showing off my tart top. This is where I drop it now. Oh. Ta-da! Oh.
Go.
Ignore the noise, that's Mitch using the dyno wrong, but only joking. I hope he's not using it wrong, otherwise a car will come through that wall. Right, question time. Kevin Keelan. Are you the Kevin Keelan that managed Newcastle for years and lost to Man United? No, that was Kevin Keegan, wasn't it?
Close.
Yeah, there's only a letter out. Do you know anything about the update Audi are putting on Gen 1 cars that ruins the sound? Can I reverse it and keep extended warranty if I buy a car that has had this update? I hate the EU with a passion. First off, it's not Gen 1 cars, it's Gen 2s. They used to have the exhaust button on the steering wheel, turn it on and off. And the latest software update now stops all the exhaust modes working, basically. So it only works at 3,500 RPM, so you can't open and close the exhaust. My advice is don't get it done. Yeah, refuse it. Refuse the update. It's not a recall. The problem is, if you have it done, yes, we can reverse it. But then when you go in for warranty, they know we've mapped the car because we basically have to backdate it, and they can see we've backdated it. So just don't get it done. Nick Hill, sub-Romanian, I think. R8 V10, stage 5, Dodson gearbox not building pressure. What to do? A million different things. Take the gearbox out, send it to me.
There we go.
Lesson 1. Mate, that is an impossible question to ask. But 9 times out of 10, it's a build problem because they don't just drop pressure. Bart 34 V Rankin. Rick, love the video. Is it correct to say the millimeters from top dead center is the same thing as degrees used in bike engines? I've done loads of OEM chains and cams, but I'm afraid to touch the Yoshi cams in my race bike. I get the valve lift, but struggle with the degrees. Right, so the degrees are the degrees of rotation on the crankshaft, but 1 degree of rotation at the crankshaft at top dead center might not move the piston anything at all, which is where the piston at top dead center and bottom dead center goes through a dwell, and the dwell is it stays stationary, which is why I come away from top dead center by it could be any number. You could do it 40 mil, you could do it 4 mil, but by going 4 mil one side of top dead center, I'm looking at your degree wheel and going, right, okay, so that's, I don't know, minus 20, yeah, and then going 4 degrees, 4 mil the other side of top dead center, and it's saying 50. When you add the degrees up, the crankshaft has moved through 70 degrees. So if you then come back 35 degrees, that's true top dead center. So all we use the dial gauge for is to look for top dead center and to set my degree wheel. Then when I've got my degree wheel right, I can trust where top dead center is because I know X degrees. You should really set it to 0, but I never do. I just remember the number. That's why I put a red mark in it in a Ferrari video. X degrees is bang top dead center. So that's how I do it. So it takes a lot of practice, but I would say if you mark your cams where they are now, your cams to your sprockets to your camshafts, and have a go at doing it yourself, worst case, just go back to where you were. All you've got to do is check and recheck. Just if you're not sure, go back and check again, which is what we did in that video, didn't we? I read the gauge wrong on the inlet cam, went to the exhaust cam, realised I'd cocked up and then gone back. But when I'd done everything, I would have caught it on the second time round anyway because I would have rechecked, but yeah. Yaz CTR, is the F430 engine just as difficult? Yes, it's the same engine. So 458, there are differences, but basically it's the same engine. Pete Duggan 5682, I'd be interested in some racing point of view. Are you allowed to use GoPro whilst racing? Club racing, yes. British racing, no. So it is something we spoke about, isn't it? I think you're going to try and come along to Coombe or something.
I think we need to,
yeah. We have thought about it, mate. The problem is, every time I go racing, I'm like, I'll take my cameras. And Coombe, at Cadwell, I did have cameras set up, and then I loved the bike on Saturday morning. And then you get behind the curve then, and I got other things to worry about. So yes, it is something we want to do.
Check out your hot laps of Coombe.
Yeah, I have done video. I have carried cameras on at the bike at Coombe. If you go on a channel and go back, there's one where we go around Coombe.
I'll put the link in.
It's a really cool video that has had 0 views.
Not 0.
Not as many as we thought.
No.
Tyrannster. Was he the... No, that's like Tyrion Lannister. Yeah, maybe it is him. He was good in Game of Thrones. Very honest video. Could have hid it away. Main thing, you're healthy and we'll be back. Keep up good work. What you reckon total cost to repair everything needed on the bike? Right, okay. So I take it you're talking about the 4.5 engine to begin with. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes. It's the whole point. What's the point of just showing not making mistakes? No one learns then. You fail forwards. And if anyone tells you anything other than that, they are full of shit.
You own your mistakes, don't you? That's the way forward. You have to take it. Have
to. You talk to any businessman. Richard Branson, made millions, went broke. You're fired, made millions, went broke. Anyone who sits there and says they're doing this, and this, and they don't make mistakes, they're either not trying or they're lying through their back teeth, and it's normally the latter. Yeah, only mistakes. It's the only way you learn. You never learn from winning. Never learn from winning. You always learn from losing. Main thing, you're healthy and be back. Yeah. It's a crash. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it could always be worse. Or you could break your arm. You could die. You know, not trying to glamorize it, but if you don't like getting hot, don't go in the kitchen. And it's as simple as that. I love racing. There's a little bit of me that likes crashing.
Whoa, hang on.
Like, yeah, it's weird. There's a little sadistic part of you. If you race bikes where, because every start of a crash, not every start of a crash, I would say, in my time, might be different for others, I would say in my time, 75% of crashes have happened with me going, I've got this. Like, it's going wrong, but I think I've got it.
Yeah.
Right? And then I don't got it. And I've crashed. 25% of my crashes, I have had no idea they're coming. So I crashed twice at Cadwell. One was my own stupid mistake, absolutely my mistake. I pushed myself into position I should have had the patience to not gone into, but I was in qualifying, I saw my board was coming down and I was up a long way on my Delta, yeah? And this is where you talk about experience. I am experienced, but I should have trusted myself better and gone, I'll come out of that. Yeah, scrap the lap and go. But this is where pressure comes in because you only get 8 minutes or whatever it is. So the pressure was on. This is where you then talk about youthful exuberance and experience. Is that me sat here now, I was a fucking moron. Because I was P5? I was maybe a second off P4, but I knew I had like 0.6 behind me. So I crashed and still finished 6th. Yeah? So I should have gone, your second row is all right? That's okay, second row.
Take that, yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes forcing yourself into a position push you on a back foot, and that's what happened. I ended up on a back foot and I chased my ass all weekend then. And in the last race, I was pumped and I didn't make a mistake. Maybe I didn't help it. But yeah, that crash I had no clue about. But going back to what I said about there's a little part of you that likes crashing, I probably had 4 other opportunities to crash. And I saved, stopped, knew it was coming, knew what to do. I went into the hairpin at Cadwell and I was chasing someone and I was on the brakes and I tipped in, it was on my knee and I was still on the brakes. So I'm like, this isn't going to work. And it goes dump, 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 dump on the brakes and you just let go of the brakes and you kind of get on the gas to pick it up and you go. So you can't be afraid of crashing. I'm afraid of the bills, which is what that is. Hand on my heart, what I think it's going to cost to fix? $5,000.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, by the time you add in levers, helmet, exhaust, radiator, body kit, front bars, pegs. Yeah. You've got to say that kind of number. I'm in a very fortunate position where I have a lot of people try to support me with discount or that kind of thing. Other businesses that we work with who try to help. I get a lot of love off OMG and off Paul at PCR, so they do everything they can to help. So It doesn't cost me what it says on the tin. But if you're at home and you're not back, then yeah. But could be worse. I could be, who was it on tag? I think, is it when the Neves brothers did 3 bikes at turn 1 at Navarra at the weekend? 150 grand easy.
Oof.
Between the 3 of them, all write-offs. Fraser did his. Leon Haslam did his. You know what I mean? If you can't take the crash in, don't go racing.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Dave's real good. Rick, glad you're all right after the spill at Cadwell. Question for you, mate. I have a 2018 Audi S4 3-litre V6. Have you seen many rocker failures in this engine? Would you advise running a heavier weight oil and a recommended 030? Car is a stage 2. An 034 Motorsport software. Cheers and keep up good work. Don't see many rocker failures. We see valve spring failures because the valve springs are the same in all VAG group stuff, and they're pretty poor, to be fair. So I would say if you think you've got a problem, check that first. If you've jumped the rocker, you've normally taken the cam out with it. Would you advise running a heavier weight oil? I would double check what you're saying there, because I think in the UK, all Audi engines should run on 530. To be fair, I probably wouldn't be worried too much about the weight. It would more be the quality. So if you're running a high performance car, then you need a high performance oil. So don't go to Lidl's and buy, chip fat or whatever it is they're selling this week in oil bottles. Run Motul 8100. You can run a 300V, but it's got no additives or detergents in, so that's designed for track work, where you have regular intervals of changing it, and I do mean regular. If it's a road car, then just 8100, 530, and just stick it on that, you'll be fine. Tango 5, I love your Huracan videos. I repair my own. Thank you. Anyone know what scan tool to reset the Haldex front diff, and also what tool to reset the service due message? Right, well, we use Odis, which is factory, to do both of those jobs. I have never tried to reset the front diff on a Lambo using VCDS or with Carly, but we have done the service on a VCDS and a Carly, so have a look at those. Obviously, we've done sponsorship videos with Carly before. VCDS we just use because quick stuff, just plugging it in to read a code or something like that. We use Carly because it hasn't. We use VCDS because you haven't got to do a big car read like you have on Odis. It takes forever. So you can definitely do service due on Carly and VCDS. You definitely can do Haldex on Odis, but I don't know. I imagine it will do it on the others. I just never tried, mate. So yeah, it'd be all right. I'm out.
He's done. Spent.
So that is it. Revelations this week. Rick likes crashing. I do.
There's a thumbnail.
I enjoy a good crash.
Yes.
No, I think it's. I'm not. You're never afraid of it. And if you've watched this long enough now, how many did I have? No, 2 last weekend. All right, fair enough. I didn't crash. I haven't crashed since Pembury last year, and
Yeah.
that was a big one. But you can't be afraid of failing. If crashing is failing, then what have you? What I can take 2 lessons, or certainly 2 learnings from Cadwell. Do you know what I mean? And that's you're asking for. You're pushing. What more do you want? So, you wear the best kit you can. You do everything you can to protect yourself, and yeah, I don't know.
There we go.
Yeah, like sliding down a track face first is all right. It's when you get thrown into space, they hurt. So one of mine was I was on the bike, I went on the grass, and I was like, I think I need to get off this. And I just laid it down on its side and slid into Barry, and is what it is. And the second one was it absolutely come round on me, and bing, up I went. They're the ones that hurt.
Yeah.
Like, you have no control then over what happens to you. All you can do is put the best kit on. So yeah, I've got a bruised foot, but it could have been a broken ankle with cheap boots. So this is what it is. Love a good crash, me. Let's go to the next one and not crash.
That sounds like a plan.
So yeah, but I love it, mate. I love it. And if you've never raced, I cannot describe it. If you said to me, I completely understand drug addicts. I can completely, I'll talk to mates. I live and breathe bike racing.
Yeah.
I can tell you all my mates race bikes. Do you know what I mean? Everybody I talk to every day is about, like, I'll spend the next 2 days now chatting to people about Navara, as in people who were there or racing or, you know, crew chiefs or this or that. Like the gossip, what's gone on, what's this is, what that is, stuff like that. So
It's in the blood, dude.
yeah, I love it. And if you don't, like people don't get it. People don't get it. So it is what it is. And if you haven't, go and look at Toprak's overtake on Bautista into last turn at Assen. It's disgusting. Mate, you should have seen, because the shot is from above as well, so they're looking down, and Toprak is absolutely on the side. The back end is still off the ground, and the front is just pumping going in, where it's like dut, 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 dut. The pressure he puts on that front end, it's disgusting overtake. Yeah. And what was really cool, in the first race, it was wet, and one lad sent it on inters. Everybody else started on slicks because the track was going to come back. And he built up a 28-second lead, right? And then it swung the other way. So he rides for Barney Racing. So Petrucci had a very, very bad motocross accident. So they brought a rider in, completely unknown lad. No one's ever heard of him. He raced World Supersport last year, but he isn't a big name. Yeah, within 7-8 laps, he had a 28-second lead. And he got red flagged 3 laps early, and he won by a second.
Wow.
That's how mental, like, when the tyres swapped over,
Yeah.
like the top lads then were like 6 seconds a lap faster than him. And he was only on inters, but he's on a wet setup on inters, and they've kind of gone out on slicks. And then you've got to be patient. You've got to be patient. You've got to wait. You've got to wait. It's like Alton. One of the races we had at Alton dropped back to like 6, and there was probably like 15 seconds off the lead. And I come through to be third, 0.2 of a second off the lead. Because 3 of us were all in the same boat. We all had the wrong tyres on at the start of the race. So, yeah. And it got red flagged for oil on the track, and literally won it by like a second and a bit. Debut race, first win.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, got to be a sender. Love a good story. Right, is that tea time, mate?
I think it is tea time.
So, I have an absolutely gash knob.
No comment.
I know, how can you even bring up both sort of like genitalia in one sentence there? Never done that. So if anyone wants my gash knob, then I will exchange it for biscuits.
Biscuits.
Biscuits?
Nice.
Biscuits?
Biscuits.
Fox's biscuits. So, yes, King Julian. Right, that is it. Let's go. Smash buttons, like and subscribe. Tell me what was rubbish in this video and why my 2.5mm Allen key is a thing. And see you on the next one. Are we doing the next one?
I think so.
I love a good crash, me. That's a thumbnail, that.
That is.